106.9 WWSU, Fairborn, Dayton, the right choice. And you're listening to another edition of the Lee W. Mowen Show. I just got done playing Information Society with What's on Your Mind, which is a request from Tom. And before that, we played Don Henley with The Last Worthless Evening before I saw that I was playing the wrong song. So I was supposed to play The Last Worthless Evening, and I ended up doing that. Before that, played Elton John's version of Saturday Night's All Right for Fighting, John Mellencamp with A Hand to Hold On To, and Billy Idol with Eyes Without a Face. And that's what started off the show. Coming up next, I got Goo Goo Dolls, followed by Sammy Hagar, Genesis, and a request for Candy-O by The Cars. Quest line is open until 8 o'clock tonight here on the Lee W. Mowen Show. That's 937-775-5555. Or if you're still on the campus of Wright State University, it's 5555. Got a special interview today, and usually if you're a big fan of the Lee W. Mowen Show and you follow me each and every week, you know that, interviews are few and far between. I actually have a film director to my right side, and the movie that he's going to talk about today is Little Nine. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, thanks a lot. I appreciate it so much, and it's good to be here. Definitely with this rocky weather that we have right now.
Indeed.
Yes, my name is Jonathan Schiller, and the website is GSD Studios and Film Productions, or just johnschillerdesign.com. And basically what the movie's going to be about is, well, actually, the movie's called Little Nine, the movie, and it's based off a Japanese toy character named Little Nine, started as a plush toy and to a vinyl action figure. Pretty popular in Japan, China, UK, Taiwan, Middle Asia, and US. The movie is a 20-30 minute film, and basically we want to focus on the main character, Little Nine, and just get like the important plot points of the film, like how he left his planet, goes to Earth, meet the other popular character, Sammy Roshi, and also have the two main villains in the story, Crown and also Pyra. And basically the actors that are playing for the film, they all go here at Wright State. Sayaka Burner, Jit, Pang Toja, if I can get his name right. Sorry about that, Jit. Scott Williams, and Arena Chang, and Chris Pierce. Very good cast. They are really wonderful. Definitely, since they're new and they never acted the day before, and it was really great. What the movie, what we're going to show in the film, and what you guys expect to see, is basically, okay, Little Nine comes to Earth, and he discovers a new environment, and meets this young girl, Sammy Roshi, and she plays as a freshman in college. But the thing is about, she has like a kind of like an interesting personality, a very punk personality. She always wants to be center of attention, get fights and stuff like that. So she meets this Little Nine character. They do a little fight, like a little battle sequence, and they kind of like talk a little bit afterwards. And basically they kind of figure out that they're both after the same person that involves with their story. I'm not going to get too involved with each and they're deep into their story, but they both have some relations that they're after the same person, which is Crown, the main boss, the bad guy in this movie. Mm-hmm. And which they'll eventually confront the bad guy and probably do the best they can to defeat him. And also Pyra is basically his top agent, personal assistant of Crown. So basically she controls fire, has special abilities, which we have a good team, you can say, for special effects and everything to do the best we can. So I appreciate everyone with that. And also I appreciate all the people on the sidelines that did the posters and the design and everything. Tom Homer and my other guy, Maureen, from also a website called mytummytoys.com. And it's just the films. We had a lot of fun making the film. We still have one more scene to go, and then we're definitely wrapped up and everything to finish off the special effects. And,
okay.
It turned out good.
Where's the last scene going to take place? The one that you still have to film?
that will be downtown Dayton, and there's going to be a car scene, which reserved Lexus. Yeah, so it's a 2009, so it's not bad. It's 2009. It's a black. It's a 4-door. It's like the 4-door sport version car. I forget the name of the model it is.
I can't. I don't know.
I'm sure it's a 250 or something, but it's really popular. It's not that bad, I guess, for expensive price wise. I don't know, but yeah. So we got that, and that scene was going to be having Pyra and the other agent, which plays James, which Chris Pierce plays as him. So we're going to have those two actors in that car scene. And yeah, so that's going to be taken hopefully this Sunday if the weather's okay. If not, then we have to postpone that scene until later on when the weather is a little bit cleared out and not very much snow in that area, because we just cleared out a couple of days ago of that spot that we had to do because there was still snow there. So we had to shovel, make sure everything's cleared out. We just want to do it like a day or two ahead of time to make sure everything's clearing. But seems like we probably have to do it again.
Yeah, because it is snowing, and we got a weather advisory out here today. What's going to take place during this car scene?
Okay, well, basically what it is, in the movie, Pyra and James, they didn't really get along in the first part, so they had a little controversy, but Crown, the boss, decided to put those two together to work together to actually, because their job was to capture Little Nine and about this girl, get this girl, bring them to Crown, and for Crown's personal use, because he wants more power and everything. So, and he's obsessed with weapons and stuff like that. So, basically Pryor comes out of the building. James is waiting by the car, waiting for his partner, and found out, oh, you're my partner. Okay, so, she threatens him a little bit, hey, you do as I say, or otherwise we're going to have problems and everything. I don't like it as much as you do, whatever, but we have no choice because the boss put us together. So they have a little dialogue there. Unfortunately, we also have maybe a tiny bit of an action part right there. Like, he kind of threatens her in a way, so she does some moves and everything, and it turned out pretty cool. And then there's like a fast car part scene too, when Chris just flies down the road, and then he kind of does like a spin out type thing and goes the other way. So it's pretty cool. We actually have there's about maybe 2 blocks that we have available time. So that's another thing. I was a little worried about the weather because there's a lot of people I had to talk to actually be able to pull that off. To get the 2 blocks, just so I could just do that one little part. But, so hopefully that I can still do that. If we have to reschedule, I'm hoping that I can still do that if I do have to reschedule, because they're kind of doing me like a huge favor.
I see. Do you mind if I ask which blocks you got in downtown Dayton? Yeah,
okay. Actually, if you take, I think, the exit Jefferson, there's like the Axel Hospital, and there's like the McDonald's on the corner.
Yes.
It's about... You make a right, it's about maybe 3 or 4 blocks up. So it's not that far from the Oregon District.
Okay, very cool. I'm kind of familiar with that area.
Cool.
That's very cool. You got those blocks reserved for that car scene.
Yeah, only for a few minutes. So just enough to him to do that. So, like I said, I'm hoping that I can still do that scene, because, it's just going to really mess up everything, and I'm not sure it's going to be 50-50 if I can still be able to do that part. The 2 streets, because that's like almost like a one-time thing to block out those 2 streets, because it's not easy to come by, very not.
Well, okay, if that scene, or if you can't do that this weekend due to all the snow coming down,
what's my backup?
Yes, what would be your backup? Could you go to?
Well, we did have some ideas that to kind of replace that, almost, you can say. It's still going to be kind of interesting, but not as much. But we're really shooting for this. We're going to try to do much as we can to get that to still stay the scene that we wanted with the car and going fast and everything. We really try to see if we can keep that. If not, we do have a possibility that we're doing. But I can't really say anything yet because it's not exactly sure that's 100% right now.
Okay, sounds good. So, let me ask you.
Yeah, sure.
What, excluding the car scene because that hadn't been filmed yet, what has been your favorite scene to film for Little Nine?
Oh, definitely the fighting scene. That was the fun one. We reserved a warehouse down in I think it was Springfield. I think it was Springfield Road. Kind of by like the army base. So we got this guy that he let us use his warehouse for a couple hours. We had to do a couple days, of course. But yeah, it was really awesome. The girl had maybe about a month training. The other guy didn't have no training.
Oh, that must have been fun.
Yeah, it was usually the other way around. You know, this guy's older. You know, he might be a little bit more experienced and have time, but I guess not. So, but yeah, it was really fun to have those two, you know, fight, and you know, it was really interesting to actually see that get made. There was no injuries, so it was good. I was really happy with that. Also, the very interesting part, because the guy in the Little Nine costume, the eyes are pretty big. It's like round, and which we have 2 sets of masks for that. For any scenes behind, not front, like face shots or anything like that, we use a mask that he actually can see. So this way you can see what he's doing. But for face shots, close view shots, or even easygoing like fighting moves, he has to have the mask on, which he cannot see. Period.
Oh, that must be a lot of fun.
Yeah, so we had thank goodness for editing, because we can say, okay, duck, you know, and he'll duck, you know, that sort of thing. We can always edit the audio part off. So, I mean, it's not really that hard. I mean, it was pretty funny. Actually, there was a couple of times he almost got hit with the bow, because her weapon's like a kind of a staff type thing. So I was like, duck, you know, and he like, what? I didn't hear you. And he's like, duck, and he's like, whew. So I was like, ooh, pretty cool.
Nice. Now, you said weapons were in the fight scene. What type of weapons beside the staff? Did you use any other weapons?
Okay, the girl, her main weapon is like a bow type thing. Little Nine has like a gun blaster type thing, which he's not going to be shooting anything. Like, he'll draw it out, but fortunately, when he draws that out, and just we can see the gun, she'll like knock the weapon out of his hands, that sort of thing. So you won't actually see too much of him shooting it.
So it's more like for, I do have a gun, but it's not going to be used.
Yeah, it's kind of that sort of thing. Because the special effects people, they only have a certain amount of time. But I love the way they charge you more.
Nice.
They can't do. I only have favors, and my favors are running low. But still, I mean, it's worth it. And let's see here. Oh, Pyra has a gun too. It's a fake prop gun. It's like a handgun sort of thing. And that's the part of the fighting scene by the car. She withdraws the gun. You know, she kind of threatens him a little bit. You know, make sure, you know, you do as I say, that sort of thing. Otherwise, yeah, like I said, we're going to have problems. So he, you know, says a few things here and there very aggressively. She obviously forces him back, you know, that sort of thing. So there is some aggression, fighting, a little bit of drama, a little bit of fun in there too. But all in all, I'm trying to squeeze a little bit, much as I can, into this 23-minute video. Try to keep it as interesting as much as possible, but still trying to focus on each. There's 4 main characters. I'm trying to focus a little bit of each of their stories, so this we have an idea who they are, where they're coming from, what their job is, you know, for the film. So it's basically like a nice, good summary biofilm, I guess you could say. You know, this way people can understand in visual, like video, what these characters are, instead of just reading like from the website or stories from blogs or whatever. So, I mean, it's a nice little media, I guess you could say, to throw on top of the list. I guess.
Some coverage.
Yeah, basically, there's a good word for it. Coverage, yes.
Speaking of coverage, how much coverage has been applied to the Little Nine? Like, how, I mean, okay, let's reword that. How well known is Little Nine outside the cast members and myself?
Oh, okay. How long this character's been out? Like
not the character, but
or the movie.
The movie. Well,
we've been starting to shooting the movie for about 6 months, 4 or 5. Yeah, 5 or 6 months. I'd say that's when we started with the script and everything. So be surprised we're moving a little fast, but it's going pretty smoothly. So yeah, about 5 or 6 months total so far. We've been working on this whole movie project.
Okay, that's not bad.
Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, well, since it is important, I guess we, you know, how popular is the character outside the cast, too? Like, how many people know about the character?
A lot of people. I mean, I try to do much I can to post stuff on blogs, forums, whatever. Try to like get this toy and talk a little bit about this film, much as possible to get people interest and get people to to see it when it comes out. So I mean, it's probably been like a couple of years. I'm just trying to get the popular, because when you do a fan base or try to get people interested, it takes a lot of time. It really does, because people need to get used to it and get comfortable and get familiarized with it. And definitely when new people come onto new blogs and forums every day, so you have to show them, and then they'll have to get accustomed to it, and you just want to develop a huge fan base for this character, and which I have now, and it's great.
Very cool.
Not bad for a student.
Now, where'd some of the character names come from? Like, why is the bad guy's name Crown, or how did Crown get his name?
Well, okay, Crown, I'll give you a little bit more of a story for each guy. Crown, he's from another planet called Ravage 21. He looks human, but he's actually an alien inside. And he came to Earth a long time ago, and his main job, the main purpose of his character is basically to find the best humans with great abilities, or basically something that he can use for his own benefit, and then turn them to like monsters or creatures or something like that, which we won't show in this film, but in the story of general of this bad guy, that's what his main job is.
If it was in the movie, that'd take a lot of special effects, wouldn't it?
Yeah, and more costumes and more people.
would be neat, but that would take up a lot of resources.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, continue on with Crown, please.
Oh yeah, well, and also just a little bit of his visual of his alien form. Crown, he has like horns right here, kind of like a shaping forming up. So it kind of gives you like a form of a crown almost.
Okay, so
it's like a bone type look.
Okay, so right above the eyebrows.
Yeah, it's like whoosh, whoosh, like that.
Okay.
So yeah, and yeah, he doesn't look pretty at all. He doesn't look pretty, but I mean, even with his human form, he looks like very evil, mysterious, and unhuman-like. Like he dressed in a black suit, but he has like this alien type form mask with like these metal chrome air pipes coming out of the mask into his back with like a gas tank type thing. It's really interesting.
Do people ask about that stuff?
Oh yeah. Like it's like, oh, what is that? Oh yeah, is this a interesting guy here? It's a businessman. Be surprised he's a businessman. Pyra, now she's different, unique, and she is human, but she actually was born with a special gift to control fire.
I see.
So, and Crown sees her as a great value to him, as personally to him. So that's why he keeps her on as a personal assistant and also a top agent, because she can fight really well.
I see.
And so she kind of does his dirty work, basically. When something he needs or whatever, she does it for him. And there's also other agents, but that's his best agent, is Pyra.
So pretty much Pyra doesn't know that she's bad.
Oh no, she's bad. She's bad.
Okay.
She like I said, like she's evil in her own way, but she's evil in her own way, but she sometimes, I would say, she likes to fight with herself, and but she still does what she has to do for her boss. Sometimes she likes it, sometimes she does. So she kind of fights with herself sometimes, but she is definitely bad. In story character, she is bad, very bad. Sammy Roshi, the girl, since she's like one of the main characters, like the main character, in the story, in the comics or the bios or online stories, she plays as a high school girl,
but for the movie, she's a freshman in college.
I just upbeat it just a tiny bit, just on that. Everything else is still the same, just upbeat to the college part. When she was younger, like a lot younger, maybe 5 or 6, her father used to teach her martial arts, and she studied all the time. She turned pretty out really good. And then in the story, we don't say too much of that in detail of her father, just kind of like a little backstory of her father. Her father got murdered, and unfortunately they never found out like who murdered him, but she always wants to find out really what happened. So in her own way, she likes to find out and kind of do her own investigating, like trying to find out her own way, like what happened to her father, that sort of thing. And during that time, she feels a lot of frustration, pain, alone, anger, because losing part of a family member. So sometimes she takes it out on other things, likes to be center of attention, likes to get into fights or something like that. And she has like a really good punctuality, I guess you can say. And so it kind of goes into her character. And then she meets Little Nine. Now, Little Nine's backstory, yeah, he leaves his planet, heads to Earth. And he leaves his planet because his planet was being destroyed from an evil force, which is unknown to him at that point when he escapes. So he heads to Earth. And as the story continues, not in the movie, but like as the story continues, like online stores, like I said, or comics or whatever, they eventually find out, as they work together, him and the girl, they eventually find out they're after the same person. They both involve in their personal life. So they decide to team up, and then defeat whoever adversary they had to defeat at that point. So they come a nice little fighting duel. They help each other, they be there for each other, do battles, and then eventually they'll face head on with the main bad guy, which is Crown. So
very cool, very cool.
Oh yeah.
Where'd the name Little Nine come from?
Actually, everyone asks me that too. Actually, it's pretty simple, really. We just kind of liked it. We just fell into that name. We just, hey, sounds like a good ringtone. But how he got that name was, okay, he's a small alien. He's like a little boy alien type thing. He's not really big. Nothing. You look at him and he's not. Oh, he doesn't look that tough, kind of thing. Mm-hmm. So back home, he was just known as like a little. We didn't really address him as a name on his home planet. Just a little boy alien, kid alien, or whatever. But the ship that he went into, where he escaped from his planet, was called Number 9. Sometimes his spaceships have numbers on them.
Yes.
Yeah. So that was Number 9 on there. So he comes to Earth, crashes, whatever. Obviously, Sammy sees the spaceship because she meets him not that far where he crash landed, that sort of thing, and that was kind of near the warehouse. So, and she was kind of doing her own investigating, so that's how they kind of like intertwined right there. They fight a little bit, and do a little talking while they're fighting, not that much. And she somehow I forget exactly how she says the line. She said, "What's your name?" or like, "Who are you?" That sort of thing. And he's thinking how to respond to her, because this is whole new to him. He never seen his human race before, so he's just trying to figure out what to say to her. And as he's thinking, he's like trying to think of a name, and then he looks at his ship, sees Number 9, and he can see that she's pretty tall. So he's like, Little 9. There you go. So, and kind of cool name. It sounds pretty interesting. So we kept that on, and fortunately, people like it. Be surprised.
That's not bad. It's not bad. It sounds like a very creative story.
Yeah, I just hope I'm not getting confused with a lot of people bouncing around everywhere here.
Now, Little 9, you said the movie would be about 30 minutes. Did you have any scenes where you filmed where you had to cut them out because that would make the film, too long, or?
Well, we do. Well, there's probably we try to really, before we do each scene, we really try to exactly know what we're wanting and exactly know what we're shooting, because we all know the maximum time we want to do of this movie. We already know we have to really cut everything really short and get the major points of the film. So, we did have a lot of bloopers. We do have a lot of those. I say maybe there's some scenes that we had to shorten it. That we had to do that, if that's what you're saying. Like the fighting scene, definitely the fighting scene. We end up, of the whole fighting footage that's usable, about 20 minutes. But we had to make that short to like 5 or 6 minutes.
Ooh.
Yeah, so we had to pick out the best ones, the best shots and everything. And at the same time, when we put it together, we got to make sure it makes sense as a flow. Make sure it's like, wait a minute, how do you get to that point to that point? So it's, because as we're on a roll, we're like, oh, this is a good scene, we do this, or that'd be cool if she did this move and then doing that. And then we try to throw as much as we can in the fighting scene, because I think the important part in the film I like everyone to see is definitely the fighting scene. The fighting scene, I think, is the important part, because that's when the two main characters first meet, collide, fight, talk, and then actually become kind of allies. So that's a really important part I want to focus on, is the fighting scene, because a lot of it happens right there. A lot of drama, a lot of the important plot points will be in during that fighting scene. So I definitely want to focus on that. So when they're fighting, a little talking. So before you know, you blew off all those minutes of fighting. And then so I was like, okay, so there are some parts we have to talk. So it's really hard because we have to figure out what we're using, not using, and make sure it fits really well.
What now? You said the fighting scene was most important and the one you want everyone to see. Whatever scenes would you say rank up there in the terms of importance?
Fighting scenes first, then the office scene. That's between Pirate and Crown. They have a little talk. There's a little fighting scene that too between her and her boss.
Oh,
I tried to, people like fighting scenes. It's intense, it's awesome, it's cool. You go in there, oh wow, that's awesome. I like how they did that. So we tried to keep much as interesting. So the office scene is second. And then everything else is probably like third, like Sammy when she's at home, Sammy's house scene, the high school. I mean, not high school, college scene, like in the classroom because we have a classroom. That's like that part. Then basically she gets into a car. So like basically kind of like that. Basically, the most important is the fighting scene, the office scene, and everything else is kind of goes into place. So
I see.
Yeah. Because we have a warehouse scene, Wright State scene, warehouse office, car scene, downtown Dayton scene. Yeah, we got quite a few scenes.
Now you mentioned the Wright State scene. Where at Wright State? Can I ask?
Okay, well, we finished up that part, but the classroom scene we did was at Wright Hall.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, we did that. If we did that, we got quite a few students that helped us out. So I wanted to thank all the students that helped us out at that point. So I'm really thankful for that, for their time. And definitely when, homework and all that stuff, I totally understand how tough that is. But yeah, so definitely we did that at Wright Hall. And yeah, so we did that in the car scene. Like the house scene we got was from our neighborhood that I live in. So we used our neighbor's house because it was a really nice house.
Nice.
So can we use your house? We're doing a small scene here. I think it'd be great. I can visualize it. It's awesome. So we dressed up. We took one of the rooms, really rearranged it, did like a TLC type thing, home remodeling. So it was good. And actually, they were really cool about it. Actually, we did that, and it took it took like half the day to actually nail everything down. It was pretty good. We worked pretty fast. It was me and 3 other people that duked out the room, kind of punky looking but cute at the same time. So we had to get a really good level for the girls' room. And then obviously the whole point of her in the house, like, okay, she gets up and, she gets ready for class, and she commutes and everything. So she does drive. So, and then she gets out of the house, she goes to her car, and then she drives and then takes it to the classroom scene, that sort of thing. She comes back home, she's all stressed out, whatever, and then she passes out on her bed, and then she hears a sound, like boom, and then that's when the spaceship crashes. That's when we got some guys to do like a spaceship type thing, crashing, that sort of thing. So, she wants to check that out. She sees like smoke through the window behind like these over the hills, that sort of thing. So she wants to check it out. So she puts her gear on, her famous outfit, I guess you could sort of say. And then she goes, checks it out. And then there's the warehouse thing and so on and so forth.
I see. Very cool. Very cool.
Mm-hmm.
As a listener or someone that wants to really check out this movie, when is it coming out?
Okay, after we wrap up these scenes, we have to finish off the editing. I'm not exactly sure how far he's in right there, but he did a nice good portion of it. So after all the editing is done, then we have to do maybe a little bit more promoting and everything. But I would say, because we're trying to do on DVDs as well, and try to get it online.
Nice.
That's what we're trying. DVDs first and online. But that's our main goal, to do those two. We're reaching for the DVD part probably in September.
DVD.
Probably September. Because, I don't want to make it too soon because I don't want to rush. We want to take our time, make sure it looks good and nice. So I figure September is plenty enough time for everyone, take our time with the editing, make sure everything's comfortable, cool, and have like a little bit of time to promote. So September, yes. And then probably about a month after that, then online.
Okay.
Maybe sooner, who knows. But definitely DVD first.
Okay, so where at online would you say would be the place to catch it at?
Let's see here. Well, when we do it online, we're still trying to figure out how to do the purchase part too online, because it's basically like, say you don't want to buy a DVD, you can watch it online if you do a little small purchase. So, say for example, we sell the DVD like $20 or something like that. The online will probably be like 12 or 13 or something like that, and you can watch it online. Because there are some places like that online you purchase that sort of thing. So we're kind of doing something like that.
Now,
but that takes we're still a lot more discussing, more planning. We're still thinking on the online thing. So we're still working out some few things on that.
Okay, now what's the benefits of buying the DVD before online, other than it's going to be out earlier feature?
Well, the DVD is just something that actually people can just physically have and own and probably collect and add to their DVD collections, or fan films. Like a lot of people make fan films on the DVD, stuff like that. So is this something actually physically a person can have? And I wanted to have that on DVD out for a little bit, before I even do the online thing. Just enough to people get a chance to maybe purchase the actual feeling, that the whole product itself. Because eventually, all movies go online anyway. Eventually, after a short brief time. So,
I was about to ask, are you afraid that if you sell a DVD first and then put it online second, that someone's going to beat you to the punch and put it online just for free so everyone can watch it?
Well, I mean, and any movie industry is always like that anyway. People put stuff on YouTube all the time, or TV shows. Like after new episode of TV shows online, and before you know, some people put it up like an hour later. There's nothing I can do about it.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
I hope people respect, and I won't see too much of that, or I won't see any of that. But I just have to do the best as I can do on my end, and try to promote. But I guess you could say if they put it online, they might like it. So, the most important thing is not the whole much of the money thing, how much I'm going to get out of it. It's not really a big deal. The big deal is that people enjoy this film. They think it's nice and cool, and they think I did a good job, and also get the important part of the story for each character. This way people can understand it, enjoy it. That's really what I really want to head to. That's what I really like to see at the end of the road.
And you mentioned 4 characters, I believe.
That's Sammy Roshi, plays by Aaron Chang. Mm-hmm. Crown as Scott Williams. Sayaka Bernard is basically Pyra. And Jit as Lil Nine. And
all the little stories, how much storytelling about the characters is in the movie itself? Because I was about to say that. Well,
we're doing a really good sum up, but the important sum for each character. Like on Pyra, when we address her through the whole movie. So at the end of the movie, when you watch it on Pyra's angle, you'll get a good understanding. Not detail, but a good understanding of who she is. And that's what I want. And then Little Nine, a good solid point of who he is and what he's doing. Because in the character, on Little Nine character, we can go on and on and on and on with the story and everything. But I just want, when a person watches the movie, and whoever they're interested in knowing each character, I want them to understand, I got a good view of who this character is. That's what I want. And that's what, and I wanted to do it like in a good live action type film, instead of like illustrations or stories, whatever. So it's like throwing a good, I don't know what the word you used earlier, but a good, nice little media onto, like, besides their stories, there's toys, and also movie, that sort of thing.
Coverage.
Yeah, coverage. There you go. Sorry, my mind's like blank right there.
Don't worry about it. But with this interview, which has been about 40 minutes, I have to say...
Really?
about 30, 40 minutes. It's about 34 minutes, so... I was in between that, wasn't I?
Yeah.
In the time that I've interviewed you, I have become interested about this movie. Is there any chance that there'll be like a public showing around Wright State? Because
we're definitely going to have maybe like a screening or something like that. Definitely, right? No, definitely without a doubt. Because a lot of people that are involved in this movie, like helping out or even in it, and even like extras or whatever, a lot of it's from Wright State. So it's definitely important to actually have a showing here, definitely. My friend also He does plays here too and everything. So I'm sure me and he'll work something out to actually we can set that up together as well. But yeah, definitely. That's what we're definitely going to do. We'll probably have like before even actually DVD will do a private screening or something like that. Right State first. I think that'd be really good and respectful and important.
That'd be a really cool idea.
Yeah.
So Little Nine, the planned date for DVD release is September 2010, and for online, depending on what the site is, October 2010.
Yes.
Would the screening be around that same time too for DVD release around September?
Well, let's see how fast we go. Like, it definitely will be before the DVD.
Okay.
Yeah. Might be a couple weeks, maybe a week or two, but definitely the most important of the screening is definitely the people that were involved in this whole project. I want them to see it first more than anything. And the better place would be here at Wright State because a lot of people are involved from here, everything. It makes perfect sense. So definitely everyone's involved, and anyone else that also wants to come to see it, like students and everything, they're welcome to see it. Obviously, there's no point. I mean, it's great.
I'm going to say that doing it like around September, like when the freshmen move in, when everyone's back, that'd be a really cool idea, and that advertise around the dorms and the apartments, and you get a really good crowd. And I think that'd be a very nice thing to do, have a screening. So I like that idea.
Yeah, that's good.
And I would like to attend that too because that sounds like a very nice movie, and I really am interested in it.
Oh, thanks.
No problem. So Little Nine, the planned date, DVD release September 2010, online release October 2010, but that is, that's to be announced.
Yeah.
My mind's going blank. Dang it.
Yeah, hey, it happens.
All right, so John Schiller, I'd like to thank you for coming on my show and advertising your movie. I appreciate it. And
oh yeah, feel free to stop by my website to learn more of each of the characters and some of the products and some free stuff too at johnschillerdesign.com. JONSCHILLER design.com.
So with that being said, let's go on to the music. And coming up next, we got Goo Goo Dolls with Iris, followed by Sammy Hagar, Genesis, and The Cars, which was a request, and that request is Candio, off the album Candio. This is 106.9 WWSU, and this is the Lee W. Malin Show. Stay tuned.